Hey everybody, it's Jenny Peterson, author of the Cancer Survivor's Garden Companion, and this is your wellness tip of the day. I am so glad you could join me in my beautiful wildflower garden. Look, isn't it gorgeous? You can't see it for real. Just use your imagination. This is the future site of a beautiful, what I hope will be a beautiful wildflower meadow right behind me. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this for lots of different reasons. One, it's going to be beautiful, but two, we had a terrible, disastrous, awful, edible harvest this year. I would go as far as to say we didn't have one. Our figs we got some figs on the fig tree. Normally it's always a bumper crop. We got figs, but they never ripened, so they stayed small and hard. We didn't get any tomatoes, we got no squash, we got no pumpkins. The herbs did okay, but not the greatest. I'm telling you, it was a disaster. Now, two reasons why I think this happened is one is we have not, and this is our bad, we have not paid as much attention to amending the soil in the last year or so that we could have, because we initially put in really good soil, and then when we did that we just sort of rested on our laurels for a little bit. So we should have been continuing to amend after that, and we kind of didn't. So that was the first reason. The second reason is, although we have a bunch of gardens around, well, not a bunch, but we have adequate gardens on the property, we realize we don't have a lot of pollinating plants. So all the pollinators, the butterflies, the moths, the hummingbirds, the bees, they have no place to go. We're not doing really our part to draw those pollinators in that will then first visit our pollinating plants and then go visit my vegetable garden back here. So that's not happening. And if that doesn't happen, then we get no harvest. So that's only in my backyard, you guys. So think about that globally. If we lose our pollinating insects, what's going to happen to our food source? This is a real problem. This is not a tree hugger issue. This is not something that's made up. This is not something that's even debated. This is hard science that says if we lose our pollinators, and we don't give them a place to pollinate and get the nectar and bring it to our crops, we will have decreased food production. That is a fact. So, trying to do my part of it here in my own backyard. I live on a full acre in South Austin, Texas. And so what we're doing here, this has just been kind of a, weedy, grassy ground cover. You can see we've had, storage stuff in the back. This is right behind our shed, so nobody really sees it. So we're going to use this whole area, and it's right by our beehive right here. So we're lightly tilling all of this up, and I'm saying lightly, it's just the first few inches of soil. This is not, over tilling the land. You don't want to do that. You don't want to go down like a foot, but you do want to get all of the weeds and the grass out of here, because if you allow those things to exist, then it's just going to compete with your wildflower seed, and you're not going to get a very good germination rate, and you're going to be really disappointed. I don't want to be disappointed. This is too much work to have to do this 3 or 4 times more. So we're going to do it right from the beginning, lightly tilling it up, removing all the roots and the grass and the weeds that we can as well as we can. We're going to work in some compost and then seed. We should have done it last month. That's really the recommended month to do it, is in November in this area. But we had some wet, cold, rainy weather, and then Brett and I got married at the beginning of the month. So, just one thing led to another, and now it's December. But I think we'll be okay. We're kind of pushing it a little bit, but I'm willing to take the risk because I don't want to put it off till next year. So check on my blog, JennyNibroPeterson.com, where I will have more articles on following the progress of this wildflower pollinating garden. I'll definitely do some updates on my wellness tips of the day, but I wanted to let you all know that these are things that we can do in our own properties, and they're really important. It's not just for beauty, although beauty is important. We're talking about food source and food chain here. Very important. So let's all do our part. So please join me on my blog, JennyNibroPeterson.com, where I write and speak about healthy gardens, healthy lives, and urban farming. And check back tomorrow for another wellness tip of the day. And until then, be well and keep gardening. See you soon.